Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today's video is Zoologist Civet. So the note breakdown on this is quite large. In the opening you've got bergamot, black pepper, lemon, orange, spices and tarragon. In the heart you have carnation, frangipane, heliotrope, hyacinth, linden blossom, tuberose and ylang. Base notes: balsam, civet, coffee, incense, labdanum, musk, oakmoss, resins, Russian leather, vanilla, vetiver and woods. So what I get from this fragrance is I definitely get the citrus in the opening, the orange and the bergamot vibe with the black pepper. The black pepper kind of fizzes and sparkles on your nose. Almost makes me want to sneeze, so there's definitely black pepper. So there's a little spice in the opening, you get the citruses, you immediately get the sweetness. It's not overly sweet, but it's the sweetness from the florals. I think, there's certain florals in here that are naturally quite sweet on their own. I think that comes through, and it is a mix of florals. It's kind of hard to identify which floral seems the strongest. At some points I smell linden blossom, which smells very clean, like a white ironed clean shirt from the washing machine. At some points I smell more the tuberose coming through. At other points I smell more the sweetness of the frangipane. So I think you get hints of the florals, but it's a mix. I would say after 10-15 minutes this fragrance tones down into what I would consider to be the base of the fragrance, in the sense that what you smell at 15 minutes is what you're going to smell for the duration of the scent. There's no dramatic changes or development. It's relatively singular in its feel, in its composition. There's no movement. It's dense, and what you smell is what you get. It's one of those kind of fragrances. The best way I can describe it is a warm, resinous, slightly sweet, slightly incensey, slightly musky, slightly animalic without being overly dirty. Almost notes of things like maybe tobacco or brown leather. It has lots of subtle little nuances. It's a complex, dense smell, but it's singular. It's like a soup, and that's kind of, you're going to eat the whole bowl of soup. There's no dramatic change. The resinous kind of element is the main drive of the fragrance. One of the notes that strikes me as being more of a dominant note coming through is oakmoss. I think you can really pick out the oakmoss quite easily. So I do think that adds to this classic chypre kind of vibe that people are talking about, where they say it smells vintage. I think that's coming a lot from the focus of the oakmoss being noticeable. This is one that kind of melds with your own skin. It doesn't push off all that much, at least on me. I think it's more mellow, it's subtle. I think that's a good thing though, and it melds with your own skin. It could almost be like a scent you would produce yourself. It's not an overly perfumey perfume, if that makes sense. Although I've got to be honest, it's not one I would buy myself. It is getting a lot of attention and a lot of love from a lot of people, so it's obviously worth checking out. You might really like it. It doesn't grab me personally, just not quite my taste. In terms of, I think this gets a lot of mixed reactions on whether or not people think it's masculine or feminine. Personally, I do think it's unisex, but it leans on the feminine. I think some people, and I think it's true, as obviously the case, some people are finding it a little bit too feminine. For me personally, if I had to wear it, it wouldn't bother me. I don't think I wouldn't feel feminine. I don't think it's, obviously a feminine fragrance. I think it leans a little bit that way without being too much. So I do consider it unisex. It just depends on your kind of taste and preference in scents. That's it. I mean, it dries down the same as the 15-minute mark. It just sort of fades away slowly. The performance is very good. I would say along the lines of Hummingbird, which was also by Shelley, at around 12 hours, although it's fairly, it's a skin scent by then, but it's there. With an hour, maybe 2 hours of a soft projection, it's not loud, it's definitely sits closer in your own space. I think that's a good thing. Honestly, I don't smell any civet, so if you're worried about it being overly animalic and dirty. Fragrantica rates this really highly as being very strong Civet. I think this is another case of Fragrantica being wrong personally, but you know, hey, I could be wrong. I think genuinely maybe the people on Fragrantica that are rating the Civet really highly, I think probably they might be smelling just something else in the composition that's maybe lending more of an animalic kind of nuance to this warm ambery kind of resinous backbone. I think maybe there's something in the accord there that's slightly animalic without actually being the note of Civet, which people are picking up on as a main note. And I do think this kind of the backbone of the fragrance, as I'm imagining it, is, you know, the main note, and it does have animalic nuances, but I don't personally think it's Civet. You know, I don't smell rotting Italian hard cheese and poo in here, so I don't think it's that. I think it's the main body, the accord of the fragrance that's tripping people and thinking, oh, that's Civet, and I don't think that's the case personally. I'll see you again very soon with the next one. Take care, guys. Bye.